All right, I saved my work. I open it back up and I'm having issues. If you notice, my picture is gone. Ah! All right, it's not gone, but here's the issue. I open back up and you may have the same issue. Sometimes it does this if you have this saved on a cloud drive or something like that. So if I open, this is the one that I applied to it, right? And I drag it on here and it's still dark. And there's a few things I can double check here and just nothing's working. So if I click on here, it tells me where is this file coming from? And I open up the three dots and it shows me this is coming from my J drive. Okay. So the file's there. There's nothing wrong with the file. But, and here's the fix. I'm going to go into my file editor down here, which is my folder. I'm going to open it up. Here's my J drive. Instead of all of us pulling it off of here, because it loses this and it kind of reads it like an internet file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. Okay. And I'm going to put it in my own personal M drive. This is your numbered drive that you have on your computer. Mine just happens to be lettered here. And I'm going to go into my folder that I made for this class. I made a specific folder for here. You can always just put it in this folder. You're going to have to find it, and it has to be a space that it can pull off of your own computer disk drive. So I will post it here. Now, it's saved there. Now I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to reassociate this with the new location. Let's try this. So I'm going to go back to, let's see, here's my PC. Here is my numbered drive like you guys have my M drive. Let's find my project for class. And here is my gooseneck shaded lamp. So now if I apply that, voila, it's there. Now I can save this again so it updates the file. I don't want to get much more deeper into there. We can add some things so it backs this up into the file. But once we have this lamp model, and it shouldn't take us that long, it's not going to be an issue. Now, what we want to do is we want to give this some volume. Okay, we did all the work of getting the line situated in there. How do we make it look 3D? So if I go over into my modify panel, here's my modify panel. I have my line selected in my scene editor, right? Here is, if that's turned off, go up, turn on your scene explorer. Line is selected, go to modify. I'm not going to put anything in my modifier, but if you look down here, the line is selected. This is my rendering pane. What we can do here is we can give it some thickness, okay, and make this line, instead of just a flat line, we can make it, give it some thickness. So I don't know, we can make it a little thicker than what it is. We can do, we'll try a 1/2 inch, and nothing happened, right? We made the change, but if we look here, we want this would render now if we go into our render. Here's our tea kettle. Let's render it here with our tea kettle and see what it looks like. Ha, nothing. It's not even showing up because it's just a line. Okay, so what we have to do is we didn't select that we want this to show up in our renderer, okay? And it will show up as a line, but we also want it to show up in our viewport. So it's important to have both of those selected. Now we have both of them selected. Now, if I shut it off in my viewport, it disappears. But if I leave it turned on in my renderer, do I still have it on? Let's open our render back up again, and we'll just see how this looks. And it's going to start. There it is. Okay, so it shows up in our renderer, but not our viewport. So all of these checks in here matter. So for now, when I'm modeling this, at least when I'm getting it set up, I want it to render in my viewport. Then later on, if I want to simplify my scene, I can shut that back off. So I don't know, 1/2 inch doesn't look that bad. If I turn it down to 0.4, okay, I'll let you choose whichever way you like. Now, here's the deal. What I want to do is, I don't like this flat part in my curve. This is going to let me shut this off for now in the viewport. I can go back and I can click on the line, right? And where our are my curves? Why can't I select it? Remember, I have to go back into my selection tool and do the vertices. Okay, here, I want to change my vertex, especially this part of the line here. I want to make that a Bezier curve. But I can do that. That's for new ones, so it's not going to change that here. But if I right click on it, this is where I can change what the existing one is. Okay, it said it's smooth, and I'm going to change that to Bezier. I'm going to drag that up a little bit, and we're just going to kind of smooth out that curve. I don't know. How does that look? Something like that. We'll try it. Now I can re-enable it in my viewport. And right, it's hiding the little handles, but that is how you can kind of tweak and adjust that to make it look better. So you can turn it on, off, find some other spots that might need to be adjusted. Maybe over here it looks a little flat. Okay, so that gives us an advantage while we're modeling with this and turning on our render and giving it some thickness right in our scene. You can slide this down too if you need more vertices in the curve. And if I go to divide, okay, I can highlight that selection there, and I think it can add an extra vertice in there as well if I need to. So I would just need to change what type of corner that is. So let me escape out of that tool. Okay, I go back into this vertex here, and that's Bezier, and that's Bezier. Okay, so if you need to make some adjustments, do so. That's gonna be a wrap for this video. I'm gonna turn this on. Let's do our radial tool here. Turn it back on in our viewport, and we are gonna call that one a wrap. We'll see you in the next one when we start modeling out the lampshade, and we'll come back. All right, that's it for this one. See ya.